Hi, everyone. My name is Carly Nobles, and today I will be focusing on Spotify's competitive position and why, even as a market leader, um, Spotify still struggles to maintain a strong advantage in the industry. So Spotify's core issue or main issue is that Spotify has a strong user base and high engagement, but the competitive position is actually really weak um, than it looks on most days. The main issue is that really Spotify leads more into their users, but not the profit. And once you compare it against other companies like Apple or Amazon, they have much more of a higher financial power and ecosystem advantages than Spotify does. So the real problem is that Spotify's position is really just vulnerable long term. So what's driving the problem? Well, when you break it down, what's actually driving this is just a few key forces to start out. First, supplier power is extremely high, and that's just because record labels control the content and demand higher royalties. Second, I would say the high rivalry that they have, which is very intense, especially from other companies like Apple and Amazon who can really tap into other services that they provide other than just music. And lastly, I'd say high alternatives or substitutions like YouTube or TikTok. They are always constantly competing for user attention. And all of this just makes it really difficult for Spotify to even maintain sustainable competitive advantage. So when it comes to comparing Spotify to its competitors, Spotify's biggest strength is its personalization and basically just the overall user experience. But its competitors like Apple and Amazon have a brighter ecosystem, meaning that they can just cross subsidize and don't really rely solely on streaming profits, as I mentioned before. So they have other things that they can tap into that will provide them profit. And this just really overall puts Spotify at a disadvantage because they just lack structural power just in the industry overall. So there are two main strategic options that I'm offering for recommendations. One is to compete on price, so to offer member rewards if they sign up. And what I mean by that is like pricing wise, offering certain incentives or just more better options for pricing versus what Apple or Amazon may offer. But that's just really might not be sustainable for them because margins are already pretty low. So the better option that I am recommending is for Spotify to just strengthen its competitive position, and they can do that by just investing more into own owner content and more exclusive rights. So this, if they do that, that would just allow them to just reduce more reliance on record labels and gain more control over their value chain. And to implement this, I feel like Spotify should focus more on just expanding their just overall exclusive content just over the next 0 to 12 months, just to see what improvement that can give them. The key metric to track success would be to margin improvement, um, along with growth in own content and user retention. But just overall, the goal is to just shift Spotify from just being dependent on suppliers into having more control over its competitive advantages and positions. Is all I have for you all on Spotify and how it can just be overall better as a company in this industry. Thank you all and